It's actually Dr. Whedon, but you can call me Bob.
Okay, Bob.
Dr. Robert Whedon, 8631 Ringe Road, Polk City. So last time I was here, on June 3rd, we talked about the drastic need for a more feral-friendly animal ordinance in Polk County. We talked about the woefully low life outcome rate in Polk County. Surrounding counties have fared much better. Why is this? The obvious answer is the lack of support in Polk County for the humane and effective management of feral and free-roaming cats, known more broadly as community cats. But you said we were speaking to the wrong people. You said this was Grady's problem. Respectfully, I disagree. The Polk County Board of County Commissioners is the governing body in Polk County, Florida, and according to the Polk County Charter, as amended on November 5th, 2024, in Article 2, Paragraph 2.8, Powers, Subparagraph 2, it states, adopt such ordinances as may be necessary to carry out both county and municipal powers and purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Polk County Commissioners, it is you, and you alone, who have the power to adopt or amend county ordinances. I'm here today to ask you, why won't you do that? Why will you not embrace the scientific evidence that TNVR is more humane? Why will you not embrace the peer-reviewed evidence that TNVR is more effective? Why will you not embrace the overwhelming evidence that TNVR will save Polk County money? Why won't you? I've already sent you a template for an amended animal ordinance that embraces and supports TNVR in the county. I stand ready to assist you in promulgating a new, effective, and humane animal ordinance. My credentials to assist you include more than 40 years as a veterinarian, 25 of which have been devoted to the humane and effective management of community cats. Prior to retiring and moving to Polk County in 2019, I was a clinical assistant professor and the service head of shelter medicine at the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine, and have authored textbook chapters on animal population control and rabies prevention. It is past time for Polk County to join the 21st century and embrace evidence-based, humane, and effective management of community cats in our county. Why won't you?
All right, thank you, sir.
Good morning, Stephanie Widener, 9055 Hickory Walk, Haines City, Florida. Commissioner Wilson and other commissioners in attendance today, you were just considering a $5,000 for one speed hump requested by a resident, actually $10,000. I appreciate their concern for the safety of their kids and residents on that road. You now have over hundreds of residents requesting a low-cost, comprehensive spay-neuter program, not just for the TNVR, but also for residents. There are many senior citizens in our community, and as stated previously, there are many people that are struggling but have pets. Maybe they got the pet and are now struggling and cannot see spending the money it takes to spay and neuter. That is a huge expense. And so I would ask you to please consider this a speed hump, if you will, to slow the growth of excess pets, to help animal control with getting those that they have adopted instead of having to euthanize them. And Commissioner Wilson, last time you said, I'm going to paraphrase, I had it written down, but I'm sorry, if it saves the county money, we will do it. You were talking about a different subject. However, there is overwhelming evidence from other counties, from professionals, from people who have spoken here, who have been involved in other TNVR programs, low-cost spay-neuter programs. There is overwhelming evidence, statistics, everything you need to make this happen. You can approve the money. We do pay taxes. There are probably thousands of people that cannot come here because they are actually working, making money to provide and also to take care of their pets. So you said it, I'm going to hold you to your word. I hope this commission will see that we are very we are representative of multiple people, multiple voters. And I have shared this on my Facebook with people who could not attend the meeting. I've shared the meeting link. There are more people here in spirit than you know. Thank you.
Patricia Kirby, 1111 Spencer Avenue, Clearwater, Florida, 33756. First of all, thank you all for hearing us today. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you having open minds for what everyone's saying here. They're very passionate people. So I got involved with this because I happened to drive by. I saw your shelter. I was here on a little church visit, and I drove by your shelter, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to stop in at the shelter. And there was this cute little black kitten in the cage. Well, first of all, they made me leave my purse and camera in the car, and I was kind of surprised by that. But I got escorted in. I saw this cute little black kitten. The kitten was in its litter box and did not look good. And I said, that kitten looks sick. And I said, can I do a meet and greet with that one? And they said, sure. So I did a meet and greet. It was so cute. I held it in my lap. It looked depressed. Got it purring after about 30 minutes. And then I said, can I foster or adopt this one? And she said, no, it's not at weight yet. It doesn't weigh enough to be spayed or neutered. No. You can't. I said, well, can it go to a shelter foster? And she said, we only have one. They said the shelter foster is full. One shelter foster, and that's it. So I left, and I kept calling every single day to check on that kitten. A few days later, I got no more answers. And I found out, not by phone, but by email, I had to email you that the kitten was dead. Of course, I was distraught. I want to say this. So I started volunteering with animal rescue as a shelter volunteer at HCAS, that's Hillsborough County Animal Services, when their live outcome rate was 35%. That was in 2013. It actually started at 2010 at 16% cat live outcome rate. Only 16% made it out alive. When I started, it was 35%. I took photos. I did bios of the animals. We tried to implement all these new programs. By 2014, it was 72%. That's in 1 year live outcome. Now it is 95% in 2024. So I'm actually a resident of Pinellas County. We have implemented a ton of different programs that help. These programs save money and they save lives, and they bring up the opinion of everybody in the community, of the animals and of you guys. And it is a county commission issue. It really is. The employees at the shelter at Polk County said to me, face to face, I will put my hand on a lie detector test or a Bible, whatever you want. They said, the sheriff hates animals. You can shake your head. I'm not kidding you, and I don't make stuff up. I'm an ordained minister. I don't mess with stuff like that. That is not my deal. But I want to say to you, you can change this by changing the policies. You need shelter foster volunteers for sick and underweight animals. You need a TNR program. Pinellas County did this. You can talk to our former director, Doug Brightwell. He's wonderful. They saved tons of lives. It was an incredible success, still is a success. They partnered with Rescue for this. You need to create rescue partnerships. You need great photos and a personality bio of every animal. You need a barn or working cat program. You need a discounted spay neuter voucher program, and you need colony caregivers and allowing people to care for their community cats, and you need a longer hold time to decompress the scared animals. Lastly, I want to say I'm not here as like a foreigner to your county. I'm a bloodline direct relative to Adam Putnam, and I am here representing the animals, and I appreciate you. Please, please, please make the changes to help these animals. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, my name is Kay Bork, and I live at 1133 Brook Road in Fort Meade. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. I appreciate it. Animal welfare in Polk County is at a breaking point. Polk County continues to grow. We heard some of that this morning with the different new offices. The pet overpopulation issue continues to worsen with no requirement to spay and neuter pets, no comprehensive program to manage the community cats, allowing backyard breeders and allowing pet stores to sell puppy mill animals. The pet overpopulation issue is the root cause of the issues at Polk County Animal Control. There are hundreds of individuals in Polk County who work tirelessly trying to change this narrative. They take in and care for as many of those as who have been abused and abandoned as they can, with the knowledge that the need is just too great. It's kind of like the story of the guy who was walking on the beach one morning. He saw a bunch of starfish had been washed up on the beach, and he saw one guy down the beach, and he was taking one starfish at a time, and he was throwing it back in the ocean. And he walked up to the guy. He said, "Why are you doing that? You know you're not going to make any difference." And the guy picked up another one, and he said, "I'm going to make a difference in this one's life." And he threw it back in. Well, that's what these people in Polk County are doing every day. They're picking up 1 or 5 or 10 and making a difference in those lives. But we believe that the narrative can change. We all can change that narrative. But Polk County needs your leadership in this. The way to make that difference is to make a wholesale change to the animal welfare narrative in Polk County. This is through changed ordinances and policies and programs that have been presented to you already. You have Dr. Whedon who has requested to help you. You have others who have requested to help. We all stand here wanting to help you figure out what these ordinances should be and how to put these policies and programs in place and how to implement them. We are never going to rescue, adopt, or kill our way out of this crisis. And although reform at the animal services area is imperative, we must also address that root cause, which is that unchecked pet population. We understand that the Board of County Commissioners has many voices competing for attention and that we're just one of those voices. At times it may be difficult to know what next steps to make to create this change. But one thing I do know is that if we continue to keep doing the same things we've been doing, this pet overpopulation issue is just going to worsen. I've noted that the board has a number of committees, advisory boards that provide input or information to the commission. The ordinances and policy changes that have been requested are all part of a comprehensive animal welfare strategy. And several of the people that spoke today and have offered their help could be part of an Animal Welfare Advisory Committee. You all could set that up and invite folks in it from the Animal Control Group, from some of these folks, from the rescue organizations throughout the committee. I implore you to take action today.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Sarah Lynn Smith. I live at 4740 Highlands Place Circle in Lakeland. I'm here again to talk to you about the situation with the animals in Polk County. Today I'd like to address about the current process at Polk County Animal Control as we understand it regarding free roaming cats. If the public calls about a free roaming cats in their neighborhood, Animal Control will deliver a trap for you to trap the cats. Once trapped, you contact them again, and they will schedule a pickup. Reports say that it takes anywhere from 1 day to 7 days for them to come back for the cat. Leaving the trapped cats in the heat without access to food or water for up to a week. They will even take it if the cat is ear-tipped, which means the cat has already been neutered and vaccinated. So they will still take that cat. The director of animal control that I spoke to in a meeting in March, Gordon Shearer, says the cats are then brought to the animal control if they are still alive after being in the trap for 7 days. And they're allowed time to decompress, wherein they are assessed as feral or friendly. So if they're stressed to the max and they are hissing, they are now deemed feral. We don't believe this process happens, as reports have come in that trapped cats are euthanized in the truck or upon arrival with no assessment. If they're deemed feral, they are ultimately killed. No hold time is needed at animal control. So if your house cat gets out, like Commissioner Scott's did this past month, it is trapped by a neighbor and is deemed feral because it's shy or scared. It can be killed immediately. Alleged friendly cats are held for the stray hold and then put up for adoption. As of today, though, there are only 44 cats listed on the adoption page of Polk Animal Control. So in the first 6 months of 2025, there were 3,830 cats taken in as stray, 20 cats taken in as confiscated, 126 cats taken in as confiscated. That's a total of 3,976 cats entered animal control. 1,943 were adopted out. So that leaves over 2,000 cats left, and only 44 are friendly enough for adoption. If that is indeed true, why not spay or neuter those deemed ferals and put them back where they are trapped to live lives? Every neighborhood in Polk County has at least one and usually many street cat feeders. Those 1,900 plus released fixed cats would increase the live release rate of the shelter to over 90%. And that is what we are trying to get, 90% no kill. So if you had a TNR program, Polk County would meet the 90% no kill that all the other counties around us does.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is Jennifer Castro, and I'm at 216 Stembridge Road, Lake Wales. So, yes, the common theme is pet overpopulation is an issue. In this county in 2023, 14.7% of families were below poverty level, which would put that at 1 in 10 households. I can't really imagine what it looks like today with the increased inflation, but I'm sure it's not better. Affordable options just aren't there. What tends to happen is people don't look for animals, animals look for them. These animals are looking for people that are kind, they're starving, they're hungry, and they find people. I'm a cat magnet myself. I'm a magnet for rescues. So what happens is these people take them in. They obviously feel very compassionate towards them, but they either have a lot of animals already that they may be caring for, or it's a situation where they just can't afford to go get that $250 spay or neuter done. So they go, well, you know, we've always had animals and they have babies, so what? But the so what means we have a shelter full of animals. So it's not really irresponsibility as much as it's affordability, and that's why all these programs that people are mentioning are so important, and that's why Hillsborough has done such a good job with trying to bring those programs to the people who need them. For the animals that get to the shelter, there is a very critical thing that doesn't happen here, which is there isn't a list of the most urgent and needed animals to leave the shelter. This could be, of course, in a way of prioritizing those who are behavior issues and seniors. And this could also be animals that are going to be euthanized because they've been longer term. A lot of times when animals are going up for euthanasia, and that includes kittens that come in at 3 p.m. and are going to be killed at 5. Only rescue partners are available with information. Otherwise, if you're not a rescue partner with the shelter, you don't have that information. So it would help that the public knows who's going up, who's on critical need in order to save those animals and get them out. A lot of times when people feel the pressure of, oh, there's going to be a death happening, people actually step up to foster with the rescues. So helping those animals get out is really, it really needs to be part of what we're trying to do so that the euthanasia rate goes down. Lastly, I just want you to know that, I feel like there's a big lack of pet knowledge in our community. And I know that you can't have that in a school. You can't teach kids that. But I think that we have to show the community what pet ownership looks like. And the programs would definitely help that. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. Diane Schaffer, 3657 Tiger Eye Court, Mulberry, Florida. I just want to give you a scenario. A kitten, a small kitten found along the side of the street is picked up by an individual who can't keep that kitten. That person has an allergy, or maybe the husband, is a dog lover and they have a dog and that won't get along. What do? What does that person do? All of the shelters in Polk County are completely full. There's no place to bring that kitten. So what's going to happen with that kitten? It's going to end up at Polk County Animal Control. What are they going to do with that kitten? Most likely euthanize it. Why? Because there's no place to put the kitten. We are so desperate, so absolutely desperate, that we implement a policy in this county that people can go and bring their kittens or cats in and get them spayed and neutered. It really has to be done. It is getting out of control. I converted a garage into a shelter to help these beautiful kittens and cats. I cannot bring them anywhere in Polk County. I mean, some people have adopted them out, but there's no large shelter that will take them because they're on overload. They have no space. So I have to drive hours. I have to drive to Sarasota. Sometimes I have to drive to Venice to bring these kittens and cats so they have a way of getting adopted out. So I am pleading that all of you look at this. This problem is absolutely out of control. I operate 2 companies. I'm a businesswoman, and yet I find time to do this because I feel we have a need. I feel we have a strong need to help our animals in Polk County. So please listen to all of us. We're all here to help. We need your help as well. Thank you.
My name is Becky Bywater. I live on Brookwood Drive in South Lakeland. For over 40 years, I have volunteered many hours and financial aid to animal shelters. I watched the last meeting on TV in June, as 3 months ago, I broke my leg and my ankle in 3 places. I'm telling you this because my volunteer hours have been regulated to office work, answering the phone, and returning phone calls. I wanted to speak to you today and give you my firsthand experience and reality of what happens on a daily basis. On a Monday morning, there are over 60 messages left on the voicemail. I am not exaggerating. On a regular day, there can be 20 to 30. Approximately 50% of those start or end with the words, "I need to surrender." The causes are many. It could be death, illness, divorce, moving. Yesterday, I had a call from a young lady crying that her husband had gotten drunk on Sunday and beat she and her children up. How sad is this? This lady had called many shelters, and they all have the same answer: they're full. Some calls are asked to pick up strays on the street, or roaming in backyards, from backyard breeders who have no need for them anymore, and they will just take them and dump them. Dumping is a huge problem in our county. Many say they have called other shelters, and there is nowhere. So you take this one shelter and you multiply that by the shelters in this county, and you have to understand the severity and the reality of what we are facing here. Sometimes I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm off script here. I feel like you're looking at me like a blank page, but that is not the case. The root cause of our problem is overbreeding. You cannot adopt your way out of this problem. We need, number one, we need a spay and neuter voucher program. This is not new to you. You've heard it before. We need ordinances on backyard breeders. We need ordinances on people who abuse animals. Dexter's Law was just passed not so long ago. I'm sure you probably heard, hopefully, and remember that one. We need to educate the public. If you go to the Polk County Animal Control website, as I did this morning, I'm sorry I'm over time, but I just want to make this note. Okay? Do you know what comes up first? It comes up, adopt an animal with a cute little woman and a cute little dog. And you know what the second thing it says? Do you want to donate to Polk County Animal Control? Seriously?
All right. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it very much.
Patty Jakes, 378 Inverary Drive, Auburndale, Florida. I come before you today to share the story of a longtime Mulberry resident. Her name is Miss Cecilia Jennings. She was born there in the house that she lives in. Miss Jennings has lived in that same house for decades and has lovingly cared for a group of cats on her property. Recently, she was cited by the city, and actually it was an angry neighbor that is a dog lover, doesn't like cats, and is now facing fines of $25 per day starting July 28th, not for neglect or abuse, but for feeding the very cats she has looked after for years. To be clear, there is no provision in the city ordinance that prohibits feeding cats, yet Ms. Jennings is being penalized for showing compassion. In most jurisdictions, to withhold food from an animal would be considered cruelty or neglect, but here the law seems to suggest the opposite. In an attempt to comply, Ms. Jennings actually reached out to Polk Animal Control to surrender the cats. However, because she's cared for them for so long, the county now considers them for her personal property and refuses to assist. Now she also contacted local SPCA, which unfortunately turned her away because they have no space. So now she's trapped, being told she cannot feed the cats, yet no agency will help her responsibly rehome them. She reports that the cats are now scavenging through garbage cans and in desperation. In effect, the city is ordering her to let these animals starve. Is this truly the direction we want to take as a county? Instead of punishing residents who are trying to do the right thing, we should be offering solutions such as accessible spay and neuter programs and partnerships with rescue organizations that already do this work on the ground, which I'm part of, but we have no money. That's the problem. One such organization, the Street Cat Project, has made incredible strides in reducing the stray population through trap, neuter, return, and adoption efforts, yet we receive no support from the county. When will our leadership acknowledge this growing crisis? How many cats must suffer? How many must starve or be euthanized before real action is taken? We are not asking for the impossible. We are asking for compassion, for resources, and for a plan. We just really desperately need a spay neuter, and a trap neuter release program. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm back again. I brought the pictures. I was so excited. I wanted you guys to see my Bobo. That's when I got him. And I'm sorry to cry, but that's him now. He's 14 years old. And that first picture there, that was when he was tethered for those 8 years that I told you about the last time. And what I'm begging and asking you to, and I appreciate you hearing me, is I see this every day on a daily basis of the dogs that's tied up with no shelter, no food, no water, and they can't help it. They can't get off the chains. And I had to call Bartow Police the other day because over across the street from my community, they had this dog tied up to a house. It had no water, no shelter, no nothing, in the direct heat, and it was just, gasping for the breath. And I called them, and they did go there, and they made the guy take it, to a cooler area. But I'm asking you, please, if there's anything, any kind of ordinance, even if it's just one, where they only tie them up when they have to use the bathroom and stuff and put them back in. I know a lot of people don't have fencing, but this is really terrible in Polk County. It's awful. And I just ask y'all to please, if there's anything you could do about that, I would really be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Charlotte Bernhardt. I live in 611 Fairway Court, Plant City, Florida. First of all, I just want to start by saying that I am a public civil servant. I come from a long line of public civil servants. My own father served this country for 20 years. He unfortunately is a statistic of a soldier's suicide, but I like to think that he gave his life for this country and couldn't transition. I'm here to talk about, and it's not easy for me because I have so much respect for our fellow civil servants and our government. But I'm here to discuss some concerns. Just starting out, in 2019, Eve Wissenthal of Street Cats of Polk County made a petition on change.org that was sent to you guys. basically asking for, I believe it was lowering the euthanasia rate in TNR. There are 79,379 signatures to that petition. Last year, in July of 2025, I myself, when I became aware of what was happening in my neighboring Polk County, did a petition, demand new leadership, transparency, TNR, lower kill rate in Polk County Animal Shelter. Okay. I organized 2 peaceful protests. I had over 50-something cats pulled from a shelter. I started a rescue. I am also a school teacher, public school teacher. I teach biology. I'm here to read into the record my concerns regarding First Amendment violations due to petition, protest, censorship, and potential retaliation, as was explained to me by potential legal counsel. Here are my 4 talking points. Retaliation against petitioning and peaceful protest. The First Amendment protects the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. I lawfully organized, submitted a petition in combination with Eve's. It's over 79,000 signatures, and a peaceful protest was done. 2, viewpoint discrimination on official social media. County officials, the sheriff's office for starters, county officials appear to have blocked residents' Facebooks for voicing criticism related to the petition and protest. When a public official uses social media page to conduct government business, courts have ruled it becomes a designated public forum, and blocking critics from engaging there is viewpoint discrimination, which is unconstitutional. This is according to the Knight's First Amendment Institute versus Trump in 2019, where a federal court ruled President violated that First Amendment by removing people from his Twitter account. Talking point number 3, retaliatory camera ban in a public shelter. After the petition and protest was exposed and it garnered media attention, there was a public ban for camera. Importantly, cameras were previously allowed and only banned after the group exposed this. This is according to a government federal court, not allowed in public spaces. Cameras have to be allowed. The last point, suppression instead of accountability. I think that's all for me. My time is here. I just wanted to read that into the record. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Again, John Daly, 6019 Country Walk Lane, Winter Haven. It's just listening to all this, watching you guys, everybody's saying a lot of very important things. Probably some of you guys are going blah, 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 But basically, this is a very important thing. I've rescued probably over 100 cats on my own dime, spent thousands of dollars trying to make a difference. I have 6 of my own. Foster fails. I couldn't get anybody to take them. But I can't do anymore. I'm retired. I got a bad back. I just can't do it. You guys need to do it. Grady Judd needs to do it. If you got a soul, we got to do this. Can't kick the can down the road. People are passionate. We love our animals. You can't have Polk County reputation dragged through the mud because of this. The TV station's already on it. It's not going to go away. It'll get worse. If you keep kicking the can down the road and you don't do anything, another TV station's going to show up and another one. And if you all make national, good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody was good till the last one. Anybody have anything to say? No. Okay. Well, I think that winds us up. We thank everybody for today. Meeting is adjourned.